On this week's episode of Game of Thrones, The Bells, Daenerys Targaryen inherited her father's will. Easily the most divisive aspect of this week's episode was the sudden and seemingly out-of-nowhere turn in Daenerys' disposition. The turn in question happened after the bells of King's Landing rang in its surrender and her victory. I think the important thing to remember in this moment is that Daenerys' whole journey has been for this moment, her victory over the usurpers, regaining her birthright. It has been stated by some involved with the show that in her moment of victory, she felt empty, and that is significant. Daenerys made major sacrifices and endured many hardships, all for the singular goal of the Iron Throne. Upon achieving her goal, she feels nothing. No triumph, no vindication. I believe that in that moment she experienced a flood of all of the negative emotions that her lofty goals had kept at bay. She refelt every slight, every loss, every despair. At the same time, it could be argued that she had come to the full realization that she would never be loved by the people. It is all of that, not just her recent losses, but the collapse of her internal walls that were propped up entirely on the strength of her goals, that triggered a psychotic break. Once this happens, we no longer see Daenerys in a single clear shot for the remainder of the episode. In those moments that follow, she is the dragon. The strong Daenerys we knew and loved was a facade, an exterior wall propped up only by her hopes and expectations. What was inside was a raw nerve that had never properly healed from its many traumas, now exposed, vulnerable, painful, angry, and on the back of a weapon of mass destruction, much to the horror of her allies. Thank you for watching. Tune in later this week for our podcast, The Weekly Set, for a full discussion and breakdown of the episode. Until then, Valar Morghulis.